welcome to all on this very educative afternoon. Hey, I always wanted to ask you, have you ever thought or have you ever planned what are you going to do after you get this UG degree?
Well, after my UG degree, I have a lot of plans, like Kana, Pina, Sona, it's just normal. But Achhe se padna, and then you get a good job. I'll be on cloud 9, that's all.
Wow, as relaxing and foolproof as it sounds, I might have a little different view on that.
A different view? I don't think so. I think the thing that I've quoted before is the best possible way to get a very bright future.
Well, there are so many possible ways. For once, I always wanted to study further so that I could explore my subject even more. And I want to do this somewhere abroad. Somewhere I'll feel more challenged, overpowering, and life-changing all at once. And also the idea of getting to meet new people of different diversities and ethnicities always excites me.
Yukta, you had me at while you said life-changing.
I knew it.
It's incredible, right? But I doubt not if you just know how do you pursue your dreams, right?
Well, I'm a little embarrassed because I have to agree on it. Although I do know what I want to do, but I have no idea on how to transfer those thoughts into actions.
Yes, it's the question of the hour. Many of the people who are sitting over here will be like us, exclaiming on the fact how to pursue their dream jobs or dream career.
So, to give you an idea on how to pursue your dreams and to paint influencing ideas on the canvas of your abroad studying aspirations, we have a very special person among us, Sir Dr. John A. Kershaw, Assistant Vice President Academics, University of New Brunswick, Canada.
What? University of New Brunswick? I know, I've heard a little about it. It's the oldest English language Canadian university, and also it's been the world's largest leading innovation and research for up to 230 years. 230 years.
Oh, see? 230. That's a huge number. So the best part is, now our Sri Vishnu Educational Society has started this new collaboration with the University of New Brunswick, Canada.
That's very interesting, right? You have to know a lot of things. I think there is something other in your bag too. What are you going to explore?
Well, yes. To enlighten the audience with a little more visual experience, now we'll have an AV on Dr. John A. Kershaw and the collaboration prepared by our diligent Vishnu Audio Visual Academy.
We are happy to inform you that our beloved chairman, Sri K.V. Vishnu Raj Garu, has signed an MOU between Sri Vishnu Educational Society and the University of New Brunswick, Canada on 4th May 2022 to cooperate, recognizing the importance of collaboration in education between the two institutions. As a part of this collaboration, both the institutions wish to pursue an agreement on building a pathway program which leads all many students of Sri Vishnu Educational Society to University of New Brunswick to continue in graduate and postgraduate studies in computer science. As per the agreement, Sri Vishnu Educational Society students who have graduated with an undergraduate degree from Sri Vishnu Educational Society and from any of its 5 campus locations, that is BVRIT Narsapur, BVRIT Hyderabad, Sri Vishnu Engineering College for Women, Vishnu Institute of Technology and VV Raju College, whereby Sri Vishnu Educational Society students may apply to University of New Brunswick to complete their Masters of Computer Sciences by coursework MCSE degree through the Faculty of Computer Science at University of New Brunswick. For taking forward this initiative ahead, Dr. John A. Kershaw, Assistant Vice President, Academics of University of New Brunswick, Canada, is here with us today to explore the opportunities for higher education in Canada. Dr. John Kershaw is the follower of the quote, "The forest is not a resource for us. It is life itself. It is the only place for us to live." Dr. John Kershaw is a professor of forest mensuration. He did his PhD in forestry and environmental management. Dr. John Kershaw is a professor of forest mensuration, forest inventory design and analysis, and growth and yield modeling. Mr. John joined as a faculty in the year 1991. Before moving to New Brunswick, he worked in forestry in Indiana, Wisconsin, and Washington state. Dr. John is a pioneer in the use of Copus, a type of multimedia distribution in forest inventory, LiDAR analysis, and growth modeling. He is currently conducting research in New Brunswick, Newfoundland, Maine, Florida, Oregon, Malaysia, Taiwan, Indonesia, and India. Dr. John Kershaw teaches advanced mensuration research methods, forestry in Atlantic Canada, and coordinates the Nanjing Forest University UNB 3+1+1 program. Mr. John represents UNB at the Indo-Canadian Sastry Institute. He enjoys traveling around the world and developing new partnership opportunities for UNB. He is a member of the editorial board for Forest Ecosystems. Dr. John is currently the Assistant Vice President Academic at UNB, but continues to have an active and following research lab. Sri Vishnu Educational Society is deeply honored to welcome you, sir.
I now feel very much delighted and honored to invite our respected Vice Chairman, Sri R. Ravichandran Karu, onto the stage.
I am extremely honored to welcome onto the dais Sir Dr. John A. Kershaw, guest of our today's event.
We are very much pleased to have on today. It's a mark of an undying tradition to invoke Almighty at the beginning of any important event. I now request the students from Vishnu School of Music to pray for us.
गजानना ॐ गजवदना हेरम्बा गजानना गजानना ॐ गजवदना मूषिकवाहन गजानना मोदकहस्ता गजानना मूषिकवाहन गजानना मोदकहस्ता गजानना गजानना ॐ गजवदना हेरम्बा गजानना गजानना ॐ गजवदना Gajanana Parvati Nandana Gajanana Gajanana Om Gajavadana Heramba Gajanana Gajanana Om Gajavadana Om Gajavadana Om Gajavadana.
Thank you so much for the prayer and the spiritual beginning.
It's our culture to remember God, the Almighty, before everything we do or start. So let's begin this wonderful afternoon seeking the blessings. Now I request all the dignitaries to light the ceremonial lamp and offer floral tribute to late Padma Bhushan, Dr. B.V. Raju Garu.
I am now very much privileged to call upon our beloved Vice Chairman, Sri R. Ravichandran Garu, to address the gathering.
Thank you, Bhavna and Yukta, for that nice role play. It was very, very innovative, and I think it made Professor John Kershaw and all of us feel that you have already started students to start thinking about a career which is just beyond just getting a job. So that makes this afternoon very easy. So good afternoon, my dear students. And on behalf of Sri Vishnu Educational Society and on behalf of our chairman, I greatly honored and we are really privileged to have Dr. John Kershaw from New Brunswick, very much in person amidst us. And this was something that both of us have been working for the past 3 years. And we are very fortunate when our chat visited New Brunswick in 2018 or 19 time frame and initiated this whole thought process, which was followed up by the president of University of New Brunswick and his entire team, visiting BVRIT Narsapur campus in early 2020, just before the pandemic breakdown. Dr. Paul Mazarol and his entire team, the president, he's also in an equivalent of a vice chancellor whom we talk about here in a university system. So we were really privileged, and that's where the whole thought process of why not work with Sri Vishnu Educational Society and have a unique program that can be different from all other programs that University of New Brunswick has been doing since 2012. So let me begin with thanking again Professor Kershaw to be here because he's been having a very long day here, because morning 3:30, he got up at 3:30, and then we are here since then, and it's back to back. And the more important thing that we are trying to achieve here today is to really connect with you as students. So one of the important things is I just want to give you the legacy of University of New Brunswick before we get into why New Brunswick. So New Brunswick, other than the age of the university, which is 230 years old, what is more important is the kind of partnerships that they have fostered since 2012. They started in 2012 with the university which is called O.P. Jindal University, but post Dr. John Kershaw's taking over the responsibilities of widening the international academic collaboration programs, since 2018, University of New Brunswick have collaborated with IIT Dharwad, IIT Bombay, IIT Madras, IIIT Kottayam, Manipal University, Chitkara University, and now it is Sri Vishnu Educational Society. So that's the kind of legacy that I would like to, put forward to you, that University of New Brunswick is a very big partner to all the top central universities in India, and they have also equally brought us to the same platform with an opportunity which is much more than what is being offered in all those universities. So that's why we are very privileged that Professor John Kershaw is here, because it's a 3-year effort post the visit of the President and our two visits of our chairman to the university. But what more important is, now what is there in it for us as a student? Why University of New Brunswick is a choice for us. So I want to ask in this auditorium, because we have boys, we have girls. I just want to ask in this auditorium, how many of us are really interested in being financially liberated from our parents post this higher education program? How many of us are wanting to be financially independent, So I think almost all of us are wanting to be financially independent so that we don't be a burden to our families, but at the same time, we want to be responsible and grow a career that our parents or our family is proud about. Am I right? And how many of you want to go for higher education program abroad? So again, it's a very large number of students who are interested in going for higher education abroad. So how many of you in this higher education program abroad want to look at Canada as an option? So I expected this. Yesterday we had the same discussion. Thank you very much. Very similar numbers. And maybe I would guess it will be about 20% to 25% of everybody who wants to go abroad is looking favorably at Canada as an option. But let me tell you what this program is different and why we should look at this program more seriously and more technically. I would say it's more technical, because all universities will offer you a master's in computer science, but what is different about UNB's master's as a computer science for you as a student, and especially when you said, I want to be financially independent and I don't want to be a burden to my family, but at the same time I want to be responsible for my career and I want to be having my family feel proud about myself. So that's I guess it's in every one of us that we want to do that, because this is something that is what we are committed to when we are, part of the Sri Vishnu group. So I would say the first thing that you need to look at as a student is, can I afford my cost of higher education abroad? That's the first thing. And second, do I want to pursue with a certain guarantee in my career track? At least there should be a certainty. Okay, I go abroad, I study my master's program, but next I need to be showing a path where I'm guaranteed some kind of a job. And that is obviously the second reason. And the third reason could be, what do I do after I get my job? Should I look for a permanent residency so that I can move towards, area of comfort where I can grow a career which is very, which is not distracted because of my visa status? So obviously the third thing that you would be looking for is a permanent residency status in the country of your choice. And what is the fourth thing that you might look at least majority of you? You will also look at a citizenship, because you want a Canadian or an American or an Australian or a German or a European or a UK passport. You don't want to just have an Indian passport, because that gives you your career permanent anywhere in the world. So having said these four contexts, I want to say that you are going to go with a job guaranteed program under this agreement, which is something very unique, because it is not just the University of New Brunswick that is part of this partnership. There is something called Opportunity New Brunswick, which is part of the province of New Brunswick, which, to give you an equivalent, if suppose the government of Andhra Pradesh decides to look at some of its bodies which are engaged with academia collaborations, and they try to convert some of the university partnerships into a job assurance program. So it is the local government of AP and its associate body which is trying to give you an assurance that you will have a job assured program if you join a particular type of a university for getting your master's degree. In this scenario, New Brunswick, or Opportunity New Brunswick, is another arm of the province of New Brunswick, which is also a partner to this agreement, where they say they are interested in bringing companies into the province, which is the state of New Brunswick. And in addition to bringing companies, they want to bring in the right skill sets. And if you do anything less than 2 years, you will be eligible for an 18-month work permit. So therefore, this makes it certain that you're going to have a 3-year work permit. Now, what happens with this 3-year work permit? You're already assured of a job, so you don't have to job hunt. Your PR starts immediately after this 2 years. And within 4 years, you're going to be having a citizenship. So these are the biggest advantages of this program, where we have a 3-way partnership between the University of New Brunswick, between the Opportunity New Brunswick, and between Sri Vishnu Education Society, and a job guarantee. And therefore, this entire package assures you that you have a citizenship, because you're already getting a PR after 2 years. So what it means is, if I look at how it would be if I want to be having a citizenship in a country like US, it will take me minimum 15 years to 20 years. So which means I will always be on a H1B status, which I have to be renewing every 3 years. And there is no guarantee that that renewal will come through, because you would have heard a lot of people coming back even after having been there for 10 years, just because they didn't get the H1 renewed, and therefore they didn't have any status, visa status, to stay and work there. So this gives you certainty. What about Germany? Germany will take you few years to get your PR, maybe 4-5 years. But after you get your PR, it takes you 8 years to get a citizenship. Same is with UK. Maybe similar is with Australia. And therefore, if you look at from all these perspectives, Canada becomes an easy way of getting your citizenship very quickly after you start completing your program of a 2-year master's program. So these are the reasons why I would say that, the opportunity that we have now put together is very unique. And Dr. Kershaw is looking at not just the first cohort of students which we put together. We have 5 students going, but we are also looking at the January cohort of 20 students. And over a period of few years, he's looking at anywhere up to 100 students will go through this program. So this is the opportunity that University of New Brunswick is presenting to Sri Vishnu Education Society. So we need to kind of diligently see how this fits our career goals. And therefore, we are all here to kind of help you deliberate on this and see where you can achieve your life goals and career dreams and, study abroad programs and financial independence. So having said that, I have I would want to invite, of course, I know you have anything to introduce Dr. Kershaw about? Okay. So I leave it to the moderators to introduce Professor Dr. John Kershaw and, invite him here to kind of have a interactive session with you. And with this, I thank you again for assembling here, and I think we have some of the students online. We have some of our alumni here, so we'll all have an interactive session today. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. For felicitating Dr. John A. Kershaw, we request Vice Chairman Sir Shri R. Ravichandran Garu to do the honors. Thank you, sir, for accepting our token of respect.
So, without any further delay, I would like to call upon Dr. John A. Kershaw to present an informative talk on the opportunities for pursuing higher education in Canada.
Thank you. Well, thank you very much for the very kind introduction. It was wonderful. I really appreciate it. And Ravi, again, this is our third time through this with students, and again, I really appreciate the warm welcome that you've given and the great overview. Now, I have one request of all the students. So.
You can take the hand mic if you prefer. Hand mic.
Okay, I have one request of all of you. So the gentleman here has been following me around all day, taking my picture. Yesterday, there was people taking my picture. I want to take a picture of you. So I want everyone to smile. Now, one of the nice things of being the last person to speak is that after Ravi, the introductions from the young women over here, and that marvelous video, I really don't have too much to say because everything about the program, everything about the collaboration has been more or less stated. And really about the only thing that I have to say is I'll talk a little bit about the University of New Brunswick, things that haven't been said. But first of all, I've got a question for all of you. Where in the world is New Brunswick? Okay, but Canada's a big place. Where in Canada is New Brunswick? Okay, well, at least one thing I can say about this group, as opposed to the other two groups I was at, you at least had some chatter. because yesterday both groups were pretty quiet when I asked where New Brunswick was. Do you know where Boston is in the United States? Okay, well, New Brunswick is about 600 kilometers north of Boston and about 600 kilometers to the east. So it's about an 8-hour drive from Boston to New Brunswick. Your chairman, when he visited in early May, they actually drove from Boston to New Brunswick. I kind of advised them not to, but they were brave. They didn't find any moose and things, and they made it safely there and back. So it was a grand adventure for them, I think. So University of New Brunswick, a lot was said in the video. It was a marvelous video. But to give you a little bit of an idea of what it will be like to be a student there, right now we're about 12% international students. So we have roughly 10,000 students, about 12,000 international students. China makes up our largest cohort, but India is only 2 students behind China in terms of numbers of students. So we have about 222 Indian students and 224 Chinese students. But then we have students from 97 different countries on our campus last fall. So it's a very diverse community. It's a very multicultural campus. And the city of Fredericton itself is very multicultural. So for me, it's a great place to live. And what was really fun for me was watching my children grow up there. And most of their friends are not necessarily white Canadians. They're kids from all over the world, parents working at the university, or friends that they met outside of the university. So it's a very, very interesting multicultural place to live, a very accepting place. So for me, that makes it one of the exciting things, is the diversity of the programs. For the Indian students, there is a very active Indian Student Association. They try to organize events around all of the major Indian holidays, Diwali, Holi, and many of the other ones. They organize a number of events to get students engaged, things like going for a sleigh ride in the winter and going out to one of the maple syrup factories and seeing how they collect the sap and make the syrup, etc. So it's a very active student association. I often get invited to many of the events because of my activity here in India and my role as the assistant vice president for partnerships. So with that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it over to you. If you have any questions, anything you want to know, I'll answer every question. The only question I won't answer is how cold does it get in the winter? Do you have any questions? Yeah.
Hello, Dr. Kershaw. I just have a question about, do we have our living expenses taken care of while we are doing our OP or an internship?
Okay, are your expenses taken care of?
During the internship or the OP instead of our year studying at the university.
So the internship, it's actually what we call a co-op program. And so you're actually hired by a company and you're paid. And it'll cover your expenses both during your co-op term, as well as you'll earn enough money to pay off your expenses while you're studying. So the idea, if you're a student that starts in the fall, So you would come in the fall, you would study the first term, study the winter term. Then in the summer term, you would go to your first co-op placement, and you actually have 2 co-op placements back to back. So summer and fall term, you're working with the company, you're being paid. You'll earn enough money that you can cover the costs that you've already spent for the first 2 terms. And you'll earn enough money to cover your costs for your last term, because then you'll come back in winter term, finish your degree, and graduate in May. So the program is 10 courses, or 30 credits. So each term you would take 3 courses, and then in one term you'd have to take 4. And then you have the 2 co-op work terms. And one of the beauties of the Masters of Computer Science by course with co-op is that all students that go through that program come out at the end with no additional debt. Their co-op placement earns them enough money to pay both their tuition and fees and their living expenses during their whole program.
Yes, sir. Thank you. That answers my question.
Okay, good.
So my question is to you, and I would like to ask, are any scholarships being provided under this program?
Okay, all of our course-based master's programs do not have any entry scholarships. But we do have a number of merit-based scholarships. So based on your academic performance after your first term, you may be eligible for additional scholarships. Departments have other scholarships, so there's university-wide scholarships as well as departmental scholarships. So computer science might have a few scholarships. There are also opportunities on campus for you to work. You could be a teaching assistant, a marker for courses. A lot of times, particularly computer science co-op students, people like me, I'm a forester, but I really work in applied math. And occasionally I need someone like you to write a complex algorithm for me. And I hire a co-op student to do that, so there's those work opportunities. As a graduate student at the university, we allow you to work up to 10 hours on campus. Your study permit will actually allow you 20 hours, but we only allow you 10 hours on campus. If you wanted to work off campus, the Canadian government would allow you to work 20 hours.
That answers my question, so thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Sir, could you please let us know what are the streams we can really get into at UNB in detail?
Okay, well, very broadly, cybersecurity is one of the real strengths of our computer science program. But cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, software engineering, operating systems, algorithm development. The beauty of the Masters of Computer Science by course is that of those 10 courses, there's only a couple required courses, and then the rest of the courses you can design around your interest and what you want to be when you leave.
Including data science.
Yeah, including data science, AI, big data analytics, data science, those sorts of things. So, but it's really an open degree, and it lets you explore what you want to be. You're welcome.
Sir, do we have campus residence facility or look for off-campus accommodation?
Okay, there's actually multiple options for you. We do have traditional residence style dorms where you might have a single or a double room with a roommate, and you eat in the dining hall. That's one option. That tends to be a more expensive way to live than some of the other options. So we also have what we call our suite style dorms. So they're 4 bedrooms. You would have your own bedroom, but then there are 3 other people that have bedrooms, and then you share a kitchen and a bath facility. And you can cook your own food in the kitchen area. So those are our 2 more traditional residences. Then on campus, we have an apartment building for graduate students and married students. It would be like renting an apartment anywhere in town. You're basically, you have a 1-bedroom or a 2-bedroom apartment. You pay rent, you buy your groceries, but it's all on campus. So it would be probably about a 10-minute walk downhill to the computer science department, and maybe a 20-minute uphill because it is a pretty steep hill. But it's right on campus. Then the other options is to live off campus, and there's a variety of options for off-campus living. A lot of people near the university rent out rooms to students. There are many houses that are available for rent. So, there might be a 4 or 5 bedroom house that you could rent. You get 5 of your friends to come in with you and you share the cost. There are traditional apartment buildings. So there's a variety of options. And many of them are within minutes of the campus. Most international students live off campus because most of them can find apartments at a much cheaper rate than what the dorms and the apartments on campus are. And and one of the advantages as a graduate student, your university card is also a universal bus pass. So you can ride the bus anywhere within the city limits for free. All you have to do is show your card. And so if you wanted to live a little further from campus, the farther you get from campus, the cheaper the rents are. So you could live, like a 10 or a 15-minute bus ride away from campus, save some money, and have the free transportation. The downside to that is when it's a little chilly in the winter and you're waiting for the bus to come, it can be a little challenging. So, but I've had students that have done that, and they all survive. So, I think the important thing for all of you to understand is Fredericton is an extremely safe place to live. So if you take the whole Fredericton area and some of the outlying communities, we have maybe 80,000 people. So it's a very small city. And several years ago, there was a study done by one of the Canadian think tanks called the 100 Wallets. And what they did was across Canadian cities, they put out 100 wallets with $100 in them. And then they counted how many wallets came back and how many had the $100 in it. And Fredericton was the only city where all 100 wallets were returned with the $100 in it. That tells you a little bit about how safe Fredericton is for people. It's a very accepting community and a very safe community. For me, it's a great place to live.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Hi, sir. Good afternoon. I have 3 questions for you. One is, as I understand, we have 3 terms and 2 of which are co-op terms. So, how many courses can we take up in co-op terms? Is it up to our choice, or is it predefined?
Okay, so you have 3 study terms and 2 co-op terms. So it's a 5-term, 20-month total program. And during the co-op term, you are allowed to take 1 course. They don't want you to take courses because they really want you to focus on the work experience, but you are allowed to take 1 course. Now, during the co-op term, you pay a reduced fee. So if you take courses, you have to pay for the course over and above that fee. But you could take 1 course during a co-op term.
So, you kind of answered my next question also, but my next question was going to be regarding the tuition fee. Do we need to pay it upfront, or what's the procedure there?
Well, I guess that really depends on how you apply for your study permit. So there's 2 processes that you can apply for a study permit. You can apply under the normal process, which does not require you to pay any tuition fees up front. But sometimes the normal processing times can be very lengthy. As long as we got you accepted and things early enough, it should be possible. But then there's the second stream is called the student direct stream, and it's supposed to be an expedited process. And so then the students have to pay 2 terms of tuition up front to qualify for the student direct stream. All of you would have to open a bank account in Canada and deposit $10,000 to show that you have enough money to live on. But then the direct stream requires you to pay the tuition up front. It's supposed to be a faster process, but I think what's happening right now, particularly in India, is almost every student is doing the direct stream, and very few are doing the normal stream. And the queue in the direct stream is extremely long, and students actually coming in under the normal queue are getting processed faster. What we will do at our end, when a new cohort is identified, I have people in my office that their job is to provide immigration consulting for you. And we will have a virtual session, and they'll walk you through the process of what you need to do if you're coming in the normal stream, what you need to do if you're coming in the direct stream, and what the advantages are. And they'll tell you which one they think is the best for you to do.
Okay, thank you, sir. And my last question is regarding the visa process and the application to the university. Will we be getting any kind of help regarding while applying for visa process from the university, or is it something that we are supposed to do on our own?
Well, you have to initiate it on your own, but we can certainly answer questions for you. Our immigration consultants are only certified to the study permit level. We don't have fully qualified immigration consultants. You can hire an immigration consultant who could file everything for you. You would have to pay for that. But our student consultants are very well qualified, and we've had amazing success getting students through the process. Even through the chaos of COVID and self-isolation and things like that, over the last 2 years, we only had 2 students that got turned away at the border. So, our consultants can prepare you very well both for what you need to do, and then once you get your study permit, what you need to do to get ready to come to Canada.
Thank you, sir.
So I think to answer your question on whether we can help you in your visa processing, we have a study abroad coordinator, Sulakshana, and she's well connected in terms of helping you. So I think you can reach out to Mr. Satish, so he will be able to get you through with that.
Yeah, so you have someone on this end and someone on our end helping, and that's going to be a good team, I hope.
And there are some students who are flying this for the fall cohort, and they have gone through this process. Their visa is getting processed, so that information is also with us, how they have applied, and we can have we can have the session for the students who apply for the next cohort with those students, along with probably immigration consultants from UNB. Yep. And applying by yourself is the best way, and going to consultants is not a great option that you can choose.
And unless you've got lots of money you like to throw away. Any other questions? No, they never do.
So first of all, we are very grateful to have you here. And thank you so much. And my question is, generally statistics students are more eligible for data sciences, right? So how can other students with other backgrounds like mathematics and computer science can survive there? Will the university provide any other courses? Sub-courses, I mean.
Well, the University of New Brunswick is a fully comprehensive university. We have programming in everything other than medical studies. We don't have a med school, we don't have dentists, we don't have pharmacy, but we have engineering, we have forestry, nursing, science, arts. So there are lots of other programs. The only one that currently is covered under the MOU that Sri Vishnu and UNB has is this one with computer science and the computer science by coursework. But over the last 2 or 3 days, Ravi and I and many of the department heads have been talking about other possible collaborations. And we have a number of other pathways with other universities. Some are as simple as a transfer agreement. You do half your degree here, you come to UNB, do half your degree, and you get a UNB degree. But we have some other ones that allow you to get your SVES degree plus get a master's at UNB. The one thing that it would not have is it would not have that employment piece leading to, a permanent job. That's going to be specific to computer science, and that's primarily because our province, my province, is trying to grow its IT sector, and so we're trying to attract more and more IT companies, and so then we need more and more IT employees, and this is one way that the University of New Brunswick can help provide that talent pool. But there are opportunities in engineering, there's opportunities in many of the other departments that are here at SVES. So yes, there are other options, we're exploring them. Right now, this is the only one that we have. But if you're interested in graduate opportunities at the University of New Brunswick, I would love to talk to you and help you find the right person to match up at UNB.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. Mike.
Dr. John Kershaw. Great to see you, sir. So, just we hear about masters in computer science in very different streams like cyber security and artificial intelligence. So, I would like to ask about how are the opportunities in civil engineering? There are any specializations in our masters? And what are the opportunities in the future?
Okay. Civil engineering. Yes, we do have a civil engineering department, and they have a couple of specialties. Well, let's see. So they've got three that are their big research centers. So one of them is they have the Canadian Institute for Transportation Studies. So they look at highway construction, traffic modeling, those sorts of things. Then we have what's called our Off-Site Construction Institute. So they're looking at building modular buildings. So you have a big factory, you build panels, and then when you actually build the building, it's like Lego. So you take the pieces out and you stack them together, and voila, you have a building. And then they have an environmental management program, primarily aimed at wastewater management, but they also do some stream restoration work and things like that. But then there are other people within civil engineering that do other types of civil-oriented work. But again, we don't have a program. We don't have an agreement, so we don't have a special track for you. But if you're interested in exploring civil engineering at UNB, I would put you in contact with the right people.
Sir, it is come under STEM course or non-STEM? Like compared to computer science?
The STEM?
Yes, sir.
Yes, so engineering would fall under the STEMs, but we have all STEM disciplines. So biology, chemistry, mathematics, statistics, computer science, engineering. Yep. Civil engineering, mechanical engineering, chemical engineering, electrical engineering, geodesy and geomatics. I think I've missed one.
Thank you, sir.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Everyone, but I do have a few small gifts, and I'll leave them on the front table, and you can pick up a gift from UNB. So thank you very much.
We are sorry to disappoint you with the fact that we are running out of time, so we are concluding this session with this. For any more queries, you can contact the eminent speaker of the day. The contact details will be shared soon.
Education is no allegation of knowledge, but the formation of character. Thank you all for your undivided attention. We are extremely thankful to have you all here today and witness this extremely educative session.
Furthermore, we appreciate your valuable time and patience you have shown us today. I wholeheartedly thank our chairman, Sri K.V. Vishnu Raju Garu, and vice chairman, sir. I wholeheartedly thank all the faculty of Sri Vishnu Educational Society and the student fraternity assembled here.
Additionally, I would like to thank Sir Dr. John A. Kershaw for giving his valuable time to sparkle our event. Thank you all for making this event a grand success.
I guess there are a few alumni who are here. They can meet me. Yeah. Alumni who have completed